Kandahar Province, Afghanistan, October 2nd, 2011.
On my mark! Ready?
Sir, yes, sir!
Go! Go, 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 go!
It was almost midnight by the time we arrived in the Maruf district. Out there at night, it's a different kind of darkness.
What do you mean?
It's a living thing. It takes you completely. It's not just an absence of light, it's a presence of something else. You feel it.
What happened when you reached the village?
Shelton, on point. Taylor, rear guard.
Sir, yes, sir.
We were 8, the Black Watch, Scottish Light Infantry. We'd received reports of an unspecified disturbance in one of the local villages.
Where is everybody?
Jesus!
What is it, Private?
Sergeant Sinclair! Over there, that house!
My God.
Deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever.
Oh, man. Come on, Shelton. Nothing we can do for them anymore.
Sir, look, the trail. Footsteps!
Blood. Let's go.
The villagers had all been killed, torn to pieces. Men, women, children. I've never seen anything like it. We followed the trail of blood.
What is this place?
The local cemetery.
Combat formation. Soldiers, arm your rifles. Private Taylor, the gate. Go, go, go!
The cemetery was no more than a barren field. The dead were buried in shallow graves, weighed down by rocks.
Keep going! What was that?
Over there, sir, the rocks. I think they moved.
Probably the wind.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir,
What is it?
are you seeing this? That girl, she's just sitting there, by the grave.
The girl was deathly pale. Her black hair covered her face completely. She was kneeling by a grave.
Over here, little girl. It's all right now.
Careful, Taylor. Something's not right here.
It's all right, little girl. Look at how pale she is. She looks like she's...
The girl turned around with lightning speed, sinking her teeth into his flesh.
Open fire!
They rose from their graves like a mist taking shape. Our bullets seemed to have no effect.
Give him hell, boys! Barrington! Left flank! No! Help me! I got you, Shelton! Don't let go!
They overpowered us. Only Private Shelton and I made it out of the cemetery alive. I radioed for air support. We lost 6 that night. 6. Torn to pieces within minutes. Under my command. I'll never forget their screams. I'll never forget their faces.
Oh dear, our time is up. Look at that.
Tell me, Doctor, am I going crazy?
Of course not, dear boy. You're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. It's quite common among you lads. The symptoms can occur even years later. Of course you blame yourself for the death of your men. These insurgents...
I don't think they were insurgents.
Oh, really? What were they?
In Pashto, they called them skasser. Spectres.
Oh, that's just too much. Do you mean to tell me you now believe in Oriental folktales?
No. Of course not.
The fog of war, my lad. PTSD can lead to rather vivid hallucinations. And no doubt your recent experiences in Middlesbrough triggered those symptoms in you. The train crash, inhaling those awful, awful chemicals.
Do you really think that's what happened in Middlesbury?
Mr. Sinclair, as human beings, we are endowed with free will. You can believe that you suffered trauma, or you can believe that the spirits of the dead are returning from their graves. Which is it, Mr. Sinclair?
You've been a great help, Doctor.
Oh, splendid. I'll build the department then, as usual. Oh, and,
Yes?
I'm prescribing you a stiff antidepressant. Exactly what you need, my boy.
What I need, Doctor, is a stiff drink. Good day. There is a darkness that is more than an absence of light. It's a living thing. It takes you completely. A presence that you can feel. And for the last 6 months, I've been feeling nothing else. My name is John Sinclair. I work for Scotland Yard, Special Division.
Mexico, Baja California Sur, 2:28 p.m. It is one of the last great wilderness expanses of the world. The rugged, beautiful coastline is lined with tourist resorts, but inland is another matter. No road leads through the desert of Baja Sur. There are no villages, no radio towers, no mobile phone signals. Not for hundreds of miles. There is only silence and emptiness.
Help! Anyone! Help! Get up. I have to get up.
Chester Davis was an archaeologist from the University of New York. When he accepted his posting at the Santa Anita excavation site in Baja Sur 8 weeks ago, he had no idea of the terrors that awaited him under the blazing Mexican sun.
Help! Anyone! Please! Please help me!
The Jeep was getting closer and closer, its wheels steadily plowing through the desert sands. The two men raised their machine guns into the air.
No, senors! Please, no!
Alto! Not one more step, senor.
All right. Right. Don't hurt me, please. I have a wife and kids.
Buen trabajo, chicos. Hello, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Menendez, don't hurt me, please.
Hurt you? Me? Oh, I won't hurt you. But he will.
No!
El Coral!
God, no! Get it away from me! Away!
At first, the creature seemed like a mirage, its contours blurred in intense heat. The thing they called El Goran was twice the size of a human being. Its shape resembled a great ape with powerful legs and long arms. Its scarred skin was as white as ivory, its head unnaturally elongated. El Goran had only one eye left, glowing red with malice. When it roared, it revealed a set of razor-sharp teeth. The creature carried Chester Davis deep into a dark underground cavern. At the end of the cave stood a group of people, their shades illuminated by ghastly blue light.
Please! Senor!
The high priest was an old, skinny man in a dirty robe with long, white hair and dead, dark eyes. On his command, the men fell to their knees. They wore long cloaks and grotesque masks on their faces.
Please!
The creature dragged Chester toward the others. They were huddling around a large, square, black and blue stone, the size of a table.
Careful. Don't touch it. No man may touch it.
It radiated blue light that filled the dark chamber with an unearthly gleam. The old man turned to the creature and gently caressed it.
Goran. Mr. Davis, what a pleasure to see you again.
God, please don't kill me.
Oh, of course not, Mr. Davis. Not yet. First, it is you who must kill. The Lord of Death demands it.
Dozens of hands clawed at Chester Davis' helpless body and dragged him towards the blue, shining rock.
The day has come, my children. The glorious day. Look at the stone.
They clasped each other's wrists. Their eyes stared at the stone. The stone seemed to burn. A cold blue fire rose from within, like flames.
The fires of hell!
New York City, Lower Manhattan, 8:47 p.m. 1 week later.
Lindsay, over here, Lindsay! Give me a smile.
Bill Connolly called himself a reporter. He traveled the world prying into the private lives of the rich and famous with his camera, always looking for a good shot and a quick payday. He was a paparazzo, the kind of man everyone loves to hate. But it was his job, and he did it well. Right now, he was on an assignment in New York, huddled together with the others in the rain outside of an upscale East Village nightclub, hoping to get a shot of the latest teen starlet.
Lindsay, smile! Just one picture.
That was his life, just one more picture to sell to the tabloids and celebrity gossip sites.
Come on, Lindsay! Lindsay, come on, just one more picture.
But today, there was something else.
Who the hell are you?
He appeared out of nowhere. Chester Davis looked as if he hadn't slept for several days. His face was pale and covered with sweat. His hands were shaking. There was a strange blue glow in his eyes.
Hello? You all right, mate?
Oh my God!
Davis held out a .357 Smith & Wesson.
Get down, everyone!
But it's
Get
wet
down.
and this dress cost a fortune.
Acting on instinct, Connolly pulled down the woman next to him and shielded her with his body. A bouncer outside the nightclub tried to stop Davis. The bullet hit the man straight in the chest. His eyes wide open, he fell backwards like a puppet without strings. Davis opened fire on the rest of the people on the sidewalk. Don't move, lady. With a strange smile on his face, Chester Davis slowly walked down the street, away from Bill Connolly. He randomly aimed his gun at passers-by.
Stay where you are! I'll call the police!
Even in New York, the police don't often get a call like this. A masked murderer in the middle of the city. The dispatcher alerted the nearest patrol cars.
My God. Are you all right, lady?
Ruined my dress.
I've got to go.
Connolly ducked behind one of the parked cars. He saw the man in the distance, standing in the middle of the street, his arms stretched wide, like a mad prophet.
Go! 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 Go!
The police trained their rifles on the shooter.
Put the gun down! This is your final warning!
Open fire!
Through the viewfinder of his camera, Connolly saw the stranger, torn to pieces by a hail of bullets. His body was flinching in the rain in a macabre ballet of death, and he slowly sank down on the wet street. his blood mingling with the rainwater. Connolly took another step.
Just one more picture.
Something happened that has never happened to him before.
Come on!
His fingers seemed to freeze on the camera's shutter release. He knew that this was it. This was his shot. The picture that would change his life. No more celebrities. He would finally be a real reporter. But Bill Connolly couldn't bring himself to do it. He lowered his camera and looked at the dying man. London, 9:47 p.m.
Sinclair. Yes. What? 3 weeks after the tragic shooting in Lower Manhattan, my phone rang. They said I was needed at Holborn Police Station in central London. They had arrested a man who was clearly delusional.
Who are you? What do you want from me?
Detective Chief Inspector Sinclair, Scotland Yard. Calm down, will you?
Why would they send a DCI?
I've been asking myself that. Thank you, officer. You can close the door. I'm sure we'll be fine. The man was tall and good-looking in a disheveled sort of way. He needed a shave and a haircut. His eyes had a haunted look. Gum?
Sorry.
Normally I'd offer you a cigarette, but I'm trying to quit.
Huh?
I have nicotine gum instead.
Are you serious?
It's spearmint flavored.
Am I going to jail?
That depends on how you answer my questions.
What questions?
The incident report says you were picked up outside a house in Knightsbridge. Pretty posh.
I was standing on a street corner. It's still a free country, isn't it?
So I'm told. You've been standing on that particular street corner for 3 nights in a row. You were taking pictures of a house belonging to a woman named...
Viola Wayne, age 53, widowed, no children. Mr. Sinclair, I'm a reporter.
A paparazzo. There are strict privacy laws in this country.
I don't do that sort of thing anymore, stalking people with a camera.
You did tonight.
I think I'll take that gum now, Chief Inspector.
Uh-huh.
You know what the problem with smoking is?
It kills you?
I had my first cigarette when I was 13, at school. I was hiding in the loo.
Fascinating. Why were you stalking Viola Wayne?
No cigarette ever tastes as good as that first one.
Except your last. I need you to talk, Connolly. I need answers.
And I need a cigarette. We don't always get what we need, do we?
Come on, Connolly. I know what kind of man you are.
Do you?
Why Viola Wayne? She's nobody.
I was...
What?
You're gonna think I'm crazy.
Try me.
She's dangerous, that one.
Dangerous? A 53-year-old widow?
Mr. Sinclair, she funded the expedition to Mexico. She was there. She's one of them.
Them?
She's going to kill. It's only a matter of time.
You're right. I do think you're crazy.
Mr. Sinclair, 3 weeks ago, I was in New York on assignment. Suddenly, a man walks up to me, armed. He starts shooting. I get down just in time. 8 people dead.
I heard about that.
It'll happen again.
London, 10:38 p.m.
Sir James called Holborn Police Station and convinced them to drop all charges against Bill Connolly. It wasn't hard. You can't keep a man locked up for standing on a street corner and taking pictures. I took him home in my Bentley. His tiny attic flat was filled with papers and littered with rubbish. It reeked of old cigarette smoke. Maps, newspaper cuttings, and photographs were pinned to the wall. If this is what his bedroom looked like, what was it like inside his mind?
Oh, Robert, my little darling. Are you hungry, my little poo-poo head? Here you go.
Charming place you've got here.
You all right?
I'm fine. I'm just...
Here, take a look at these books.
That's quite a collection. What do you do with them? Squash insects?
This is a translation of the diaries of Ramon Menendez. He was first mate on a Spanish galleon that crashed off the coast of Baja, California in 1536. The Esmeralda. They were conquistadors, part of Hernan Cortes' expedition to the north. They left nothing but death and destruction in their wake.
What's this got to do with Viola Wayne?
The Esmeralda was shipwrecked near Santa Anita. The survivors made their way inland. They discovered something.
I repeat, what's this got to do with Viola Wayne?
Here, read this.
In the Santa Anita Valley, we found the entrance to a cave. Nay, more than one cave. A web of caverns filled with bones and dust.
A necropolis.
A burial site?
The city of the dead. The ancient Aztecs used to bury their own in this place.
The blue fire consumed my soul. The urge is becoming stronger with each day.
They were never heard from again. After the Spanish conquest, the place was forgotten until... Get off from there, Robert. Look at this map. An archaeological expedition to the Santa Anita Valley in Baja Sur, sponsored by New York University. They arrived 3 months ago, and since then... Here, take a look at these newspapers.
Chester Davis, 43, shot by NYPD officers after a rampage in Lower Manhattan.
And this one.
Kenneth Hawke, 29, a geologist, was accused of killing his family with an axe. An axe?
They all kill!
Who's they?
The members of the expedition. They returned to their lives, but they're different. Something's changed.
What do you mean?
They're sleepers, like Terracell, just waiting to be activated. The same thing happened to the survivors of the Esmeralda 500 years ago. They all came back home and killed.
All of them?
All but 2. Ramon Menendez. We have his diaries, but he perished in the Santa Anita Desert. And the captain, Juan de Soto. Both men were never heard from again.
You're telling me that everyone who enters these caves returns as a mindless killer?
Yes, essentially.
Do you have any idea how insane that sounds?
I've been trying to contact the excavation site in Mexico, but I couldn't get through.
I think you may be taking this a little too seriously.
Mr. Sinclair, what happened in New York? It was one of these moments. Do you know those moments?
What moments?
When everything comes into focus. Your life changes. You're not the same anymore. There's a greater truth. I know what I have to do now.
And what is that? Hello?
Viola Wayne was past 50, good-looking and elegant for her age. But she hated that last part, for her age.
Darling, you look enchanting.
Why, thank you, dear.
Viola was a wealthy heiress with an interest in ancient cultures. Her late husband, an industrialist, had suffered an unfortunate coronary 8 years ago, and since then, his grieving widow used her considerable inheritance to support charities, museums, and even archaeological expeditions.
Are you going to show us your latest discovery?
Of course. Here, look at this statue. We found it in Mexico.
It's hideous.
I think it's quite fascinating. It's the Aztec Lord of Death.
I can't imagine why you like this morbid stuff.
Oh, try the canapes.
Delicious.
Suddenly, an odd sensation took hold of her. Viola Wayne felt that her limbs were heavy. Heavy as lead.
Are you not well, Viola?
I'm just feeling a little weak.
In her room, she collapsed on the bed. A chill ran down her spine. Thick sweat formed on her skin. Suddenly she reared up. She looked into the mirror on the wall. Her face had lost all color. Then she saw it. A cold, blue fire burning in her eyes. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, it was all over. She got up and went to her dresser. She found an object. A letter opener. She opened the bedroom door.
Viola, there you are. Are you all right, dear?
With unnatural strength, Viola ran the letter opener into the chest of a young woman standing by the door. Her champagne glass broke, blood stained the bright carpet. Viola Wayne hurried on. Panic seized the guests.
Hey, you! Get out of here, this is a crime scene!
I'm Detective Chief Inspector Sinclair, Scotland Yard. What have we got?
A woman, sir. Went mad, it seems. Started stabbing a guest during a dinner party.
Where is she now?
Still in her house, with the remaining guests.
You mean she has hostages?
Yeah, at least 5 of them. Or maybe 4.
Viola Wayne, I told you this was going to happen.
And I told you to stay out of this.
I'm a reporter. I don't stay out. Not anymore. I have to know the truth.
If you don't get out of here right now, I swear you'll regret it.
Are you threatening me? Is that a threat, Mr. Sinclair? Did you just threaten a reporter?
When you gentlemen are done arguing, perhaps the Detective Chief Inspector wouldn't mind taking a look at the tactical situation we've got here.
Stay where you are. Viola Wayne's mansion looked like an abattoir. The walls were smeared with streaks of blood. I pulled my gun and pushed the door open with my foot. This is the police! Drop your weapon!
Help me.
An elderly man came towards me. He was shaking with fear.
Help me, please.
It's all right. She must have been hiding behind the door. Her face was almost unrecognizable, distorted by an inhuman rage. A blue fire seemed to burn in her eyes. She lunged forward and plunged the knife straight into the man's stomach. It vanished to the hilt. A red stain spread on his white shirt. I didn't hesitate. I lowered the gun and aimed it at her thigh. She collapsed on the blood-stained carpet, writhing in agony. Her voice was no longer human.
Jesus Christ.
How did you get in here?
I told them I was with you.
I need some help here.
Did you have to shoot her?
She'll survive. I'm more worried about him. Put your hands right here. Keep the pressure on his stomach. Keep pressing.
What does it look like I'm doing?
Medic, over here. Within seconds, police had secured the scene, paramedics took over and saw to the wounded. Then I noticed that Connolly was looking at a statue.
Look at that.
What is that?
The Aztec Lord of Death.
The statue was a small skeleton, the size of a child. Its rib cage was open. Ruby eyes were set inside its empty, grinning skull.
Well, come in. What are you waiting for?
The next morning I reported to Sir James.
For heaven's sake, Sinclair, what happened last night?
Perhaps a disagreement over the hors d'oeuvre.
Very funny.
What's he doing here?
He's assisting you with this case, as a consultant.
Assisting me?
Yes, exactly. A consultant. I consult.
Sir James, with all due respect...
Enough, Sinclair. He knows more about the case than either of us do.
He's a paparazzo. Where exactly is it we're going?
Mexico, of course.
With him?
Yes, with him.
I can't go to Mexico. Who's going to feed my cat?
I'm sure we can come to an arrangement. Sinclair, did you speak to Mrs. Wayne?
Yes, she's still at the Royal Marsden Hospital. The doctors allowed me to talk to her for a few minutes.
Did she say why she did it?
She doesn't remember.
Do you believe her?
It's hard to say. She appears sincere.
They all do. What else?
She's just returned from a 4-week stay at the Santa Anita excavation site on the Baja Peninsula. They uncovered an Aztec necropolis. Sir, I would strongly advise against involving a civilian in this case.
And I would advise that you pack some sunscreen. Both of you.
Baja, California, 11:17 a.m.
Less than 24 hours later, we landed in Baja Sur. Santa Anita International Airport was nothing more than a customs shack and a landing strip in the middle of the desert. The sun was beating down mercilessly.
Mr. Sinclair?
Yes.
I'm Yolanda Garcia. I work at the excavation site. And you must be Mr. Connolly.
Si, senorita.
This is Jack Bancroft. He's our chief of security.
Welcome to Mexico. Scotland Yard informed me that you'd be coming. Did you have a pleasant journey?
Hardly. He couldn't keep his fingers off my nuts.
Excuse me?
The peanuts. On the flight. He ate them all.
They were my peanuts, Connolly. Mine.
The stewardess gave them to both of us.
Gentlemen, our plane is here.
The plane was a DHC-6 Twin Otter, a bi-engine. I knew these planes well. They were compact and relatively easy to fly.
By the way, Chief Inspector, do you have a service weapon?
Of course, a Beretta.
Where is it?
In my luggage, secured and unloaded. Regulation.
Good. Just making sure.
Where are the pilots?
There's only one pilot. Me.
You?
Don't you trust me, senor?
Until the end of the world.
The flight to the excavation site took about 3 hours. The plane was a charter. There was no one else aboard. Bancroft, Connolly, and I were sitting in the back. Yolanda Garcia kept the plane steady. I was finally able to relax and close my eyes.
Sinclair. Psst. Psst.
What?
I'm trying to talk to you.
And I'm trying to sleep.
I've been reading more about this Aztec Lord of Death.
Yes?
Mictlantecuhtli, the Lord of the Underworld. His worshippers killed people and ate their flesh. Ritual cannibalism. He promised his followers eternal life.
You woke me up for this?
The spirit of Mictlantecuhtli can enter the victims and order them to kill. Each man they kill, each soul they take, will keep the high priests alive so much longer.
You don't actually believe this, do you?
I don't know, John. Do you?
Don't call me John, all right? I'm not your friend.
It must be hard to let anyone come close to you. After Afghanistan.
What do you know about it?
There were only 2 survivors. You and a man named Shelton. If I had to guess, I'd say you suffer from survivor's guilt.
I'd appreciate it if you kept your opinions to yourself. Good night.
Wait. This Bancroft fellow, doesn't he strike you as odd? Look at his face.
Connolly was right. Bancroft was pale and shivering. Beads of sweat were forming on his forehead. Maybe he gets airsick. Like you.
I got airsick once, okay? Once.
Hold on. Look at his eyes.
That color. They're blue.
Like Viola Wayne. Stay where you are. Whatever happens next, fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
What are you gonna do?
I'll handle this. Mr. Bancroft? Mr. Bancroft, are you all right? With inhuman strength, Bancroft lunged out of his seat and straight at me. I gave him a strong left hook, but he caught my fist in his and held it like a vice. He was as strong as 10 men.
What's going on back there?
Sinclair!
Stay where you are! He must have had the knife hidden in his boot. With a swift motion, he pulled it out and slashed at my hand. He cut me straight across my palm. It wasn't deep, but it burned. I tackled him. Suddenly, Bancroft pushed me aside and ran toward the open cockpit door. He grabbed Yolanda and plunged the knife into her shoulder. She was bleeding heavily. The plane was spinning. I lunged at Bancroft. There was nothing human left in him.
Sinclair! Sinclair!
Connolly! No!
I'm getting your gun!
Don't!
Where are the bullets?
Don't do it! It's too dangerous! He hit me, straight in the stomach. I stumbled backwards. The air knocked out of me. He hit me hard, not letting up. Everything became a blur. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see the knife. Bancroft was hit. He reared up in pain. Then I could see his body collapse.
We're going down!
Yolanda, are you alright?
She's passed out. Blood loss.
Oh my God! Who's gonna fly the plane?
I am.
Oh, thank God. I didn't know you could fly.
I can't.
You can't?
I failed my pilot's test.
Why did you fail it?
Never got the landings right. Buckle up.
Baja Sur, Santa Anita Valley, 1:28 p.m.
Aquí, hold the binoculars.
Did you see them, Master?
See, the plane went down.
They must be dead there. Bancroft must have killed them all.
I want to be certain. Get the jeep.
Sinclair! Are you all right? Sinclair!
When I came to, I found myself in the wreckage of the DHC-6.
What? Sinclair?
Yes.
Now I know why you failed your test. That was the worst landing I've ever seen.
You try it.
Did you break anything? Here.
Oh! Don't touch me!
Sorry.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Sorry? What do we do now?
I don't know.
You don't know? I thought you were the great Chief Inspector.
We're in the middle of the desert.
I don't take too well to deserts. Look at me, I'm already turning pink.
It suits you.
I hate sand. I've always hated sand. As a child, I couldn't even stand the sand pit.
You're not a child anymore.
Yolanda!
Over there.
Yeah. I think she's fine. She's breathing. I stopped the bleeding while you were unconscious.
Yolanda, can you move?
What happened?
Bancroft tried to kill us all. You're wounded.
What happened to Bancroft?
I shot him.
You did what you had to do. You saved us all.
That's not much of a comfort.
I know. It's not easy to take a life. But you did the right thing, Bill.
Buenos dias.
Who are you?
My name is Ramon Menendez.
Menendez? That's impossible.
Is it?
Your name appeared in a book almost 500 years ago. You're supposed to be dead.
No, senor. You're supposed to be dead.
Menendez and his helper put Connolly, Yolanda, and me in the back of a jeep. Where are you taking us?
The city of the dead.
The necropolis?
It's a few hours' drive. Don't worry, we have plenty of water. Be sure to drink regularly. This desert will suck the life out of you.
What about Miss Garcia? She needs medical attention.
Not for much longer.
The sun was beating down on us. My skin felt like it was cracking. But inside of me, there was a cold darkness, something primeval, reaching across time. Connolly had taken off his coat and used it to give Yolanda some shade. Gently lifted her head and gave her water.
There you are.
Thank you.
Every hour in the desert felt like 10. We passed by empty, abandoned villages. What happened here?
You'll see soon enough.
I saw dark stains on some of the walls. Blood. The woman came out of nowhere. She seemed to be in her 50s, dressed in tattered, blood-stained clothes. She appeared right in front of our jeep. She was out of her mind with fear.
Ayúdame, por favor, ayúdame. El Corán se llevó a mi marido.
What's she saying?
She's saying a creature took her husband.
What kind of creature?
El Corán, señor. El Corán.
Goran? What's she talking about?
El siervo del Señor de la Muerte.
Suddenly, Menendez aimed straight at her chest.
She talked too much.
Are you out of your mind? I leapt out of the car.
I have a mission, Mr. Sinclair. We all serve a master in life.
And who do you serve?
El Señor de la Muerte. The Lord of Death.
My fist landed straight in his solar plexus. No! He doubled over. I reached for his gun. Get up!
There is no escape, Sinclair.
Kill him!
When I looked up, I saw the driver aiming at me. I took cover behind the car. Suddenly, Connolly lunged at the driver, knocking his weapon out of his hand.
Sinclair! Run!
I wouldn't have thought he had it in him. I took my chance. I jumped over a rise by the side of the road and looked back. I saw Connolly running towards me. He collapsed in front of my eyes.
You'll be next, Sinclair. You'll be dead by nightfall. If the sun doesn't kill you, El Corán will.
The jeep vanished in the distance like a mirage. I went over to Connolly.
Ow, ow, ow! Don't touch me!
You're alive.
Oh, my God, it hurts.
You're bleeding.
My leg.
Let me see. Don't be such a baby.
Oh, I'm a baby now, am I? Who took the bullet here?
It went straight through your muscle. You got lucky. Hold on, I'm gonna make a bandage. Stop squirming. I tore a piece of my shirt and used it as a bandage. Then I heard it.
She's still alive.
Her pulse is weak.
Is she?
El Señor es mi pastor. Líbranos del mal.
I held the dying woman in my arms and watched her chest slowly rise and fall.
El Señor es mi pastor.
Amen.
We gently laid her body down and closed her eyes. Using our hands, we dug a shallow grave. Like the graves I saw in Afghanistan. The ground was hard.
Shouldn't one of us say a few words?
I don't know any prayers.
Now, before I run to play, let me not forget to pray. To God who kept me through the night and walked me with the morning light. Help me, Lord, to love thee more than I ever loved before. That's it.
Before I run to play?
Well, my mum taught me that.
Very touching. Let's go. If we want to save Yolanda, we don't have a lot of time left. Come on, Bill. There's nothing more we can do for her.
I never even knew her name.
I don't know how long we walked. The sun was already going down. And then we saw it.
What on earth is that?
The city of the dead.
Dear God.
Giant stone steps were carved into the side of a mountain, leading up to the entrance of a cave. We saw tents and trailers all around.
The excavation site.
It's all been destroyed.
Why are there no people? Where is everybody?
Over there.
Oh my God.
Outside the temple entrance, dozens of human heads were mounted on sticks. The stench of decay was overwhelming.
What do you think happened to them?
They were slaughtered.
Or sacrificed?
I pulled my gun.
What are you doing? You can't just walk in there.
You studied the maps. Isn't there another entrance?
I'm not sure.
Think. This is why you're here.
You don't pressure me, all right? I can't think when someone is pressuring me.
All right. All right. Take a deep breath. Think, goddammit! Is there another entrance?
Ah, yes, yes! There is! On the east side of the mountain.
Let's go! Over here!
There it is!
The cave entrance was hardly visible, in a crack between two rocks.
We have no light.
What about your camera? Your flash?
Well, it's a flash. Sinclair, it flashes.
It's better than nothing. Give it a try. There, that way.
You want me to flash you again?
Save your battery. We carefully made our way inside. Within moments, the darkness had swallowed us.
What on earth was that?
I suspect we'll find out. The beast was crouching in the dark, chewing on...
Is that a bone?
Looks like it. Don't move.
Oops.
That's another fine mess you've gotten us into. I could scarcely believe my eyes. It looked like a large, hairless ape with only one red eye, which it was now turning towards us. Not good, Connolly. Not good. It came after us in gigantic leaps. I tried to get away, but it grabbed me by the neck like a small animal. It knocked my gun out of my hand. Connolly and I were dragged deep into the cave.
Where are we?
A holding pen of some sort.
You mean like cattle?
You know what they do to cattle, don't you?
We're trapped.
I have a knife. Maybe I can get this lock open.
Sinclair?
Yes?
You're a good man, John Sinclair. I'm sorry it had to end like this. I wish I had a cigarette.
I told you. Nothing tastes as good as your last.
Someone's coming. Hide your knife.
Gentlemen, what a surprise.
What are you going to do to us?
The beast brought us to a large stone chamber, illuminated by torches. In the middle of the room, a group of people huddled around a large blue rock. Who is that? The high priest was old and skinny. His eyes were like pools of darkness, and he had long, dirty white hair. He wore a necklace that looked like it was made of...
bones. That's human bones.
That's quite a statement.
Well. Look what the cat dragged in.
Who are you?
My name is Juan de Soto. At least that was my name, a long time ago. I came with Hernán Cortés looking for treasure, and I found it. Eternal life.
You call this life? Hiding in the dark like a rat?
We made a pact with death. We cheated time. We are the devourers of souls. Each soul taken is a lifespan given. Our servants kill so that we may live.
You can't be serious.
Very serious. Once the path is chosen, you cannot turn back.
Shall I kill them, Master?
No! We need them. Leave now. Menendez, you stay. The rest of you, go. Salir!
I had to think of a plan, and fast.
Yolanda!
They're dragging her to the stone. The blue rock seemed to come alive. It was pulsating. It seemed as if something inside was moving, oozing, reaching out to her.
Let her go!
Don't worry, my impudent friend. I will.
What did you do to her?
Me? Nothing. The Lord does it all. The Lord of Death has her now. She is acting on his will, and his will alone!
That's enough! My attack took Menendez by surprise.
Go on!
I suddenly felt his enormous paws around my throat. He was pressing. From the corner of my eye, I could see Connolly pulling out his camera.
Hey, you!
The creature turned its massive, scarred head towards Connolly. He held up his camera flash. For a second, the creature was blinded. I had only one chance. I reached for my knife, rammed it straight into its eye, deep into its brain. The massive thing collapsed onto me. I managed to push it off me. The old man ran towards the beast. He gently cradled its head, whispering, as if it were a child. Then I felt his gaze on me.
He was an ancient creature. The last of his kind. He trusted me.
Yolanda, kill them, my child of darkness.
She stood up. It was as if she couldn't feel her wound anymore. She launched herself at Connolly.
Don't! Yolanda! It's me!
I tackled her, and we both fell to the ground. I brought up my elbow and rammed it against her temple.
Yolanda!
She's unconscious. She'll be all right.
But your friend won't be.
When I turned, I saw that Connolly was on his knees. Menendez was holding a gun against his head.
You have become quite irritating. Who are you?
John Sinclair, Scotland Yard.
Do it, John!
I raised my knife and threw it. It hit him in the stomach. He looked in astonishment at his wound. Then he slowly sank to the ground.
No!
Menendez emptied his clip at me, but I managed to duck behind the blue wall. Connolly attacked him, but Menendez pressed against his boot. Suddenly, I felt a hand around my ankle. He came at me with my own knife. His wound seemed to be healing almost instantly. Or was my mind playing tricks? I managed to grab him by the head and pressed his face against the blue rock. It was like putting meat in a frying pan. His skin melted off his face. The blue light reached out, went into him. Suddenly, I saw Menendez collapse. He brought his hands up to his face. Within moments, he seemed to be aging. His skin wrinkled, his hair turned white, then fell out. I looked at the old man. He was dying. The high priest's hand reached for me.
My hand.
At first, I didn't understand.
No more darkness. Thank you, Sinclair.
When his eyes finally closed, he seemed almost at peace. His hand looked frail in mine.
The cave!
I think it's about to collapse. Run!
Hold on! Yolanda!
We lifted her unconscious body and put her arms around our shoulders.
They're coming! This way!
Hurry up!
I'm trying! I have a bullet wound, remember?
Move, or you'll have a lot more.
There, I see light. The sun.
We made it!
Just in time.
The cave!
It's collapsing!
Behind us, the entire cave gave in. It buried everything, man and creature. A cloud of dust engulfed us. I don't know how we made it out, but we made it, somehow. The sun was just coming up. We put Yolanda in the back of the jeep and gave her some water.
John? Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. You saved my life. I shook his hand and looked in his eyes. I don't think he was quite the same man I had met just a few days ago.
Oh dear, the hour's up. Time flies when you're having fun.
Doctor?
Yes?
I can't explain what happened in Mexico. I can't explain anything anymore. That creature, the blue light.
What happened to the young girl?
Yolanda? When she came to, she couldn't remember anything. And the cave had collapsed. All the answers were buried. We got her to a doctor in time, but she had completely forgotten everything that happened. Everything.
Maybe you should do the same.
How can I forget?
There are pills that will help you.
I don't want pills. I want answers.
I'm doubling your doses. Put your faith in science, dear boy.
What if it's all true? What if there are forces out there we can't understand? I still feel this darkness in me. And it's growing. I feel like I'm going mad.
Madness is just the first step.
The first step? Towards what?
You'll see. You'll see, John Sinclair.
John Sinclair, Demon Hunter Episode 2, The Lord of Death. Audio movie by Gabriel Conroy, based on the original novel by Jason Dark. John Sinclair was played by Andrew Wincott. The narrator was Anthony Scordi. Sir James Powell, David Rintoul. Bill Connolly, Carl Prekop. Dr. Sawyer was Peter Marinka. High Priest was played by Tim Bentinck. Ramon Menendez, Bill Roberts. Chester Davis was Eric Meyers. Yolanda Garcia was Laurence Bouvard. El Goran was played by Toby Longworth. Viola Wayne was Nicolette Mackenzie. Private Shelton was Daniel Kendrick. Jack Bancroft was Nico Lennon. Club Girl was played by Alex Fulton Reedon. And the officers were played by Eric Meyers and Adam Longworth. Additional roles were played by Robbie McNabb, Charlotte Moore, Ashley Margoley, Alex Jordan, Daniel Kendrick, and Ben Whitehead. This audio movie was recorded between December 2014 and January 2015 at OM UK Studios London and Indamix Productions Los Angeles. The recording engineers were Juan Manuel Delfin in London and Matt Lanz in Los Angeles. The voice director was Douglas Welbat. Creative director was Patrick Simon. The casting consultant was Victoria Prentice. And the executive producer was Mark Zieper. Post-production took place at Ear to Brain Productions. This is a Basti Entertainment production for 2015.